Hey everyone, welcome to Zach's Video Game Show, the best 7 Nintendo Switch games this far. Now, I'm not going to be doing the scale as typically others would do, as what place they're in is what they personally felt about them. Instead, I'm going to rate them based on their replay value, and I'll let you know down in the description below, because I didn't want the video to be too long. Now, I hope you enjoy.
In a land of sorrow and bitter cold, a tale of sacrifice will be told. Destined for death, will give everything to save her people.
I thought that trailer was pretty well done, but now on to the review with I Am Setsuna, which introduces that authentic JRPG style of those old classic JRPGs you all know and love, including myself. Now, the basic rundown for the story is that you journey with Setsuna as she prepares to make the ultimate sacrifice and save the people of her land. It's a very well written story. A powerfully nostalgic experience blending a classic style of the storytelling, battle enemies with its Chrono Trigger inspired battle system and fun gameplay. Now I'm going to go on to some of its pros. An emotionally impactful story which immerses you, the player, in the narrative of Setsuna, whose story is just so heart-touching and sad. A new battle system inspired by the timeless JRPG classic Chrono Trigger. Yes, I do really like that old classic myself. And it's definitely a great homage to those JRPG classics that you know and love. Now for some of the cons. The house's interiors seem to have the same style, and the same goes for the dungeons, and the enemies are too easy to take out due to some imbalance issues. But with that said, I believe those cons are minor and can be looked over for how wonderful the game really is with its beautiful story, real fun combat system, and just fantastic, well-written characters. And I'm going to show you some gameplay before going on to the next review, so enjoy! Now, you may or may not have guessed, I put in there Fire Emblem Warriors, and for good reasoning. But now, if you played Hyrule Warriors, then you'll have a good idea of what Fire Emblem Warriors is then. With some new features, the one standing out the most being the triangle weapon system, a light form of that permadeath Fire Emblem is infamous for. Now, this feature is actually quite intriguing because it adds some tactics to the addition of the button mashing, such as sword wielders are stronger against axe wielders are stronger against spear wielders, and finally spear wielders are stronger against the sword wielders. It's like rock, paper, scissors, but there's more to it than that. Like, for example, if you're trying to take over a captain's or fort commander's landmark, you can't just simply send in any unit because that will put the mission at jeopardy while making it tougher than it should be. Now, gameplay aside, the story was rather interesting, I would say, but that's not its highlight. The story wasn't very fleshed out and could be even sort of confusing. But now that aside, Fire Emblem Warriors History Mode lets you play some of those classic Fire Emblem missions from the previous games from the series, which I personally think is a blast to be had with. It also offers a local co-op mode so you can play with a friend. I'd say if you own a Switch, this is a must-own title. Now for some gameplay.
Now you've got one. I'll shoot my way out of this. I'm the strong one in my family. I'll shoot my way out of this. You're so weak. Mercy!
I like those profit margins.
Sonic, how I hate him. And all of that loathing has been focused into this invincible instrument of destruction.
You may call me Infinite.
Sonic!
Eggman's forces have chewed through our defenses at Green Hill.
Eggman's army has everyone terrified.
Here goes, partner!
I can't do this alone, even though I
Sonic, you take the lead. Rookie, just make sure you take good notes.
let's see what we can do. Together, me and you can't be afraid to try. Kiss up is goodbye, no looking back.
In just 3 short days, my plan will eliminate the bothersome lot of you.
Fine. I will teach you fear, then pain.
We have to show them that strength doesn't just come from numbers.
Let's go!
Together we can show the world what we can do. You are next to me and I'm next to you. Push me through until the battle's won. No one's gonna get thrown to us. Into each other
When we join forces, the sky's the limit.
after the fight is done.
Whole army of them egg robots?
Hurry, Sonic!
Now, you may or may not be surprised, but I personally feel that Sonic Forces deserves a place on this list for various reasons. Now, the most interesting part about Sonic Forces is that for the first time in the series, it lets you create your own hero to give you this immersion the series had never had before. What's even better is that this game has some high replayability value because you can play through the game as different characters each time. When I first saw this, I was certainly hoping for something better than Sonic Boom, which we got in Sonic Mania. But in all fairness, Sonic Mania was supposed to go for that 2D classic platform, and Sonic Forces sort of did that actually. Now, I was certainly surprised to see them add in to the addition of the 3D Sonic gameplay. You also got the classic 2D platformer gameplay in the 3D maps, giving you the best of both worlds as well as your avatar's stage. Now, the story aspect, basically what it boils down to is that it's Dr. Eggman who has yet another notorious plan to eliminate Sonic and Co. in 3 days, and he must be stopped. For what it is, I would say give it a try. It's definitely worth it. If you own a Switch too, because you can play that on the go. Now it's time for some gameplay.
Such power exceeds even my expectations. Ha! My own genius scares me sometimes.
That means you miscalculated. That's a failure in my book.
To surpass expectations is the ultimate of genius. I wouldn't expect you to understand. You've got a lot of nerve for a bite-sized Sonic from another dimension. Still, this Ed Dragoon has only lost 10% of its combat strength.
You're lying.
You won't have to wait long to find out. It would be a challenge to crush you here anyway. I'll round up the entire resistance sooner or later. Just you.
probably one of the most fun titles on this list. ARMS will surely provide fun for hours on end, and with an online mode, the kind of possible fights you'll get into are almost endless. Now don't get this game expecting some story or lore because you'll be disappointed. This game is pure fighting fun with some mini games in the middle to mix things up a little bit. The gameplay is interesting considering it's similar to the Wii. You use the Joy-Cons to control and throw your punches and block in the game, but you are left vulnerable when one of your coil arms is making its punch and back to you, leaving the gameplay with more timing and strategy than I had initially thought. If you own a Nintendo Switch and don't own this game, you are definitely missing out. Plenty of fun to be had with, like Mario Party 8 for the Wii. All fun. Now time for some gameplay.
Victoire!
コアが存在する限り、ブレイドの寿命は永遠。その永遠の時間を記憶のせいで苦しみ続けるとしたら、忘れることができるのも幸せなんじゃないかって思ったんです。
ブレイドにとってドライバーさんとの思い出はとっても大事なことなんですもん。
私と同調したたった一人の方ですから。
忘れたない。忘れてたまるか。
私たちは行かなくちゃならない。レックスと一緒に。
あなたたちは何も分かっていない。
ブレイドは刹那。コアに戻れば記憶は消えてしまう。
天の聖杯といえどドライバーがこれでは。
あいつらに君を渡したくなかった。君を守りたかったんだ。
ボンは純粋や。純粋すぎて危うい時もある。それを助けてやるんが大人の務めっちゅうもんや。
そんな程度で世界が変わるかよ。
戦えば戦うほどホムラと光を傷つけて、だったら俺なんかそばにいない方がいいんだ。
こんなバカ野郎！ホムラの心の痛みはこんなもんじゃないよ。もっと何倍も痛いの我慢して。
お前の望む道を行け。お前自身を信じてな。
私たちはレックスにみんなに出会えた最高の思い出です。
約束だろ。 俺は君のために楽園に行く。楽園に行ってみせる。だから行こう。君が何のために生まれてきたのかを、俺たちと君の未来がどこに向かおうとしているのかを。
思い出いっぱい作ろうね。
やめて、私の思い出を奪わないで。
ホムラ
Now, we shouldn't be too surprised about this title being on here. The first one was plenty of fun, I personally thought, but this brings it to a whole new level. From the real fun gameplay to its deep story and a whopping 80 hours of story content, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 will surely not leave you disappointed. When I first saw the characters, I immediately knew they were all different from the first, which isn't a bad keep in mind. Keeps all those things fresh, which in my opinion is rather a good idea. Now with that said, the characters were giving me some Final Fantasy XIV vibes, and Final Fantasy XIV is one of my top #1 favorite MMOs. The characters are well written, and I personally think I couldn't find anyone in particular to be annoying, each good in their own right. The real spectacle is its massive open world that's on the back of a beast in a sea of clouds looking earthly and alien. It's sure bound to impress you. Now the gameplay is quite interesting, I thought. The flow of combat is quite different. Your auto attacks fill up a meter tied to abilities known as arts. Arts fuel another meter for special attacks. Special attacks can be linked from one character to the next to build up a blade combo. Blade combos seal away certain enemy abilities, and team chain attacks based on a meter that is also used to revive fallen teammates can break these seals to create an elemental explosion that deals hefty damage, which successfully extends the chain attack for another round. Enemies can also be forced into tiers of vulnerability by breaking their defense, toppling them to the ground, launching them into the air, and smashing them back down, provided you execute these moves with abilities linked to cooldowns that you've hopefully kept track of, all before countdown timers close your window of opportunity. Now there are other systems on a character basis, but that's another review. Now to build a formidable team, you are encouraged by collecting and bonding with core crystals. And what's nice is that each are random with their buffs and stat. To combat this randomness, you are joined by a blade named Poppy that you can customize to your liking. Now, if you own a Switch, this is definitely a must-own title, as you will easily spend hundreds of hours in such an amazing world that you will also get lost in. Now for some gameplay.
You're all mine. Huh. And arrived. Up. And hit. Okay, time to take you down.
Go get him, Rex!
Yeah! Anchor shot! I'm not just make you shot. You did for sure.
Jaguar slash!
Come on! Sword! Eagle Sure.
Raging tiger!
Huh. Treasure acquired. Huh. And hit! Okay, time to take you down.
Make sure you got my tail, Rex.
Ha! Anchor shot! Ha!
Let us make use of it now.
Sword for sure! Sword back!
Yeah! Grip, you stormy! Break! Eagle eye! Focus!
Sure. On you go.
Sword back!
Raging tiger!
Sword strike!
I can do better.
Up!
Come on.
Here we go, off the rails. But you know it's time to raise our sails. It's freedom like you never knew. Any flags or a pass, say the word, I'll be there in a flash. You could say my hat is off to you. Oh, we can zoom all the way to the moon. Oh, this great wide wacky world. Jump with me, grab coins with me, oh yeah. It's time to jump up in the air. Jump up, don't be scared. Jump up and your cares will soar away. And if the dark clouds start to swirl, don't even shed a tear, 'cause I'll be your one-up girl. So let's all jump up super high, high up in the sky. There's no power up like dancing. You know that you're my superstar. No one else can take me this far. I'm flipping the switch. Get ready for this song. Let's do the Odyssey. Odyssey, yes, see. 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 Odyssey, Odyssey.
Yes, this title would obviously make the list. It's a new Mario game with a whole new twist. I would say this is easily the best Mario game we have seen in years for various reasons. Each kingdom looked not only stunning but also having its own personality. What's even better is that exploring each kingdom is fun and with plenty of Power Moons to collect. No, like, seriously, there could be well over 70 Power Moons in each kingdom. Now that Mario has returned to the 3D sandbox world, you will spend plenty of hours looking for Power Moons, discovering new things, and probably the most fun thing to do in the game is taking control of enemies that can be found in each kingdom, including certain animals and people. Now that the controls seem much more responsive than ever, also while giving you some new moves to learn but easy to master. What seems to be rather a fun feature I waste plenty of time on is outfitting Mario with various different outfits. Plenty of combinations, so there's plenty to make. The story at first may seem like another typical Mario game, but with some minor differences. I won't spoil anything, but the ending is where it really hits home. And after you beat the story, you'll unlock so much more of the game, giving you even more to do. Also, you'll be able to collect all those Power Moons you might have missed on the way. In my personal opinion, it's the best Mario game I have seen in years, and one to own if you own a Switch. Now time for some gameplay.
Oh, come on.
Huh? Need it?
らる王国の歴史は太古の昔から幾度もガーノンという名の厄災に見舞われてきた歴史。
主の方はやはり覚えておらぬようじゃな。
今こそ話そう。100年前何があったのか。
私が今までしてきたことは何の役にも立たなかった。
そして娘を救ってやってくれ。
目を覚まして。
Now obviously this wouldn't have been a proper Switch review without this game being on this particular list. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh my god. From its mysterious opening to its action-packed conclusion, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a revolution for Nintendo's revered series. It's both a form of return and leap into uncharted territory, and it most certainly exceeds expectations on both fronts. From its interesting story to its characters and open world, you will surely not ever be disappointed in this title. It takes designs and mechanics perfected in its previous games and reworks them for its own purposes, creating entirely something new. If there's a masterpiece of a brand new game, we are definitely looking at it here, and I recommend everyone, and I mean everyone, regardless of how they felt of the past series, to play this title immediately. It's not just another Hyrule game. This is survival, testing your wits, creativity, and abilities. It's by far no easy game, but it's definitely one everyone should play. From the moment you step outside of the tomb, it's one beautiful view to take in, and by far the largest open world the series has seen yet. You cross vast plains and climb towering mountains to achieve your goals while contending with the harsh weather and Link's limitations. Now the interesting part is that unlike the previous titles, this new game, this new Legend of Zelda game, lets you take armor and weapons from enemies you down, which is great because you blow through dozens of them because they can break in mid-fight. The combat is definitely very difficult to master due to so many possible random events that may be able the cause without you knowing, which generates countless stories between all the players that play this game. And some of the characters you'll meet along the way are just great, funny, and even a little quirky. Sometimes that might give you a side quest. If you haven't played this yet, then you are definitely missing out. Now for some gameplay.
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
I beg your pardon? I do believe that is my baked apple. You can't just go about taking whatever you please. Ha ha ha! Forgive me, I couldn't help myself. Please enjoy. An apple in an open flame is a recipe for a succulent treat. It is a bit of surprise to see a fellow traveler these days. I need not be a concern of yours. I'm just a strange old man, that's all. One who has lived here, alone, for quite some time now. Enough of that. What about you, young one? What are you doing here? Answering a question with a question. That is fair enough. As I cannot imagine our meeting to be a simple coincidence, I shall tell you. This is the Great Plateau. According to legend, this is the birthplace of the entire kingdom of Hyrule. Temple there, long ago. That was the site of many sacred ceremonies. Since the decline of the kingdom, it now sits abandoned in a state of decay. Yet another forgotten entity, a mere ghost of its former self.
Link. 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 Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
You enjoy the video? You think everything, you agree with everything in the list, or you think there's something I could have done better, or something that you think should have changed, or you just let me know down in the comments below. Y'all have a wonderful night. Peace out.